from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
I've been having a hard time on the fact that I can't talk to her no more. I can't do the simplest things with her, whether it's hold her hand, whether to give her a hug, or even laugh with her.
Family members are mourning the loss of a beloved mother and girlfriend tonight following a fatal crash in Mahnomen County, Minnesota. We'll tell you how she's being remembered in an exclusive interview a little later in the newscast. But first, there are storms out west. So do we need to worry about strong storms overnight in our area? Let's go to Hutch for the very latest in your No Wait weather. Hutch?
Yes, we do have some strong storms down near the South Dakota border right now, but the rest of our area fairly quiet as we head into the evening. You're looking at a live shot from our Dakota Magic Casino cam at some storms off to the west and to the south of that location on I-29. Here's the radar display of it. Storms moving in towards Sisseton now through southern parts of Sargent County. Some small hail from that, gusty straight line winds, and then there's a line between Minot and Bismarck that's very slowly crawling our way. And as we take you in just a little bit closer, the storms mainly south of the Gwinner area now, moving through Britain, South Dakota. Here is a look at the general thunderstorm risk tonight. Garden variety thunderstorms, not widespread severe. The risk for severe has diminished. Take a look at this, though, our time lapse of our Dakota Magic Casino camera down there, capturing what we call a wall cloud, a lowering of the cloud base right here. And watch it as we set it into motion, work its way across the area as we've gone through the last 15 to 20 minutes. So storms, well, they could in isolated nature become severe tonight. Hail, gusty wind will be the main threat, but generally below severe criteria, Andrea. Now, we do have more storms in the forecast for the big Father's Day weekend. I'll have details on what you can expect overnight and into your weekend here in just a few moments.
All right, thank you, Hutch. Now to our Valley News Live exclusive. The family of a 23-year-old mother of two who was killed in a car wreck 2 days ago says it doesn't seem real that she's gone. Authorities say Lexi Clark was killed when two vehicles crashed at the crest of a hill. Her two kids and 4 others in the vehicle were injured. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero spoke to Lexi's family today, who say they're worried about moving forward once the mourning and grieving is done.
Emil Hank says it has been so hard coping with the recent loss of his soulmate.
When I'm by myself, that's when I try to talk to her the most. I tried to say a few things and just hope she's listening.
Lexi Clark died Wednesday in a head-on collision in the Waban area, according to the Mahnomen County Sheriff. Both of her young kids were riding in the vehicle. Luckily, both left the hospital with minor injuries and are now back with their dad recovering. Hank says he's known Clark since he was a kid.
Put a lot of people before herself. That's what she really liked doing.
The emotions are still raw for him to handle.
Can we go to the next question?
Hank's 5-year-old daughter, Emmeline, who was in the wreck along with her 2-year-old brother, still has a swollen eye and is hurting.
On my back and my belly.
Hank says he's going to miss Clark's smile and attitude, yet he gets some peace in seeing her features in their kids. Since her death, Hank says the family has had a bonfire going to connect with her spirit.
When that fire's lit, she's by that fire. She goes nowhere else but the fire. And she will stay there, and whenever people are having a hard time, they go sit by the fire, and she should be right there with them.
But the family says the hardest thing by far is telling his kids, your mom isn't coming back.
She hasn't really caught on yet. That's what sucks, is she doesn't understand. My kids don't understand.
As Emmeline tells how grateful she is for the doctors and nurses who treated her.
Thank you for helping me.
Her dad, too, is left with gratitude that Clark's caring and giving spirit lives on in their children. In Nadawash, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
Hank says if there's one message to take from this tragedy is that people should buckle up. There's also a fundraiser set up for the family. You can find a link to that on our website, valleynewslive.com. The Barnes County Sheriff's Department is asking for your help finding David Lilly Jr. He's wanted for failure to register as a sex offender. If you have any information, you can call the Barnes County Sheriff's Office. That number is up on your screen right now, 845-8530. The Stutsman County Sheriff's Office is also asking for your help finding Christian Moore. He has multiple warrants and is believed to be in the Jamestown area. If you have any information on him, you're urged to call the Stutsman County Sheriff's Office at 252-9000. Fargo police are investigating an overdose near the 1400 block of 10th Avenue South that sent one person to the hospital early this morning. This comes at a time when others in the valley are reporting supposed, quote, bad batches of various drugs hitting the metro. But Fargo police say that's not necessarily the case.
People are saying there's bad batches. Well, sometimes there are batches that are more potent than other batches because they're cut with something. That's just the thing with drugs, is you never know. There's no quality control. You don't know what's in it.
It's still unknown what drugs led to the overdose, but police say 3 different doses of Narcan had to be given to the woman before she became fully alert. Officers say this serves as a good reminder that just because you have that Narcan doesn't always mean you're in the clear. A Cass Lake, Minnesota man is in the hospital after being thrown from his car. Authorities found 40-year-old Edmund Williams near Oak Point Road. They say his car veered off the road and rolled multiple times, and he was eventually thrown from the car. The crash is under investigation. A major milestone for the Cheyenne Street construction project in West Fargo will be achieved this weekend. Tomorrow morning, crews will begin to remove signs and barricades to open the 40th Avenue West and Cheyenne Street intersection. In addition to that, drivers will also be able to use 52nd Avenue South to Veterans Boulevard until the next phase of reconstruction work begins on June 20th. A 4-year-old boy craving candy was somehow able to hop into his great-grandfather's vehicle and make a 1.5 mile trek to a speedway in Blaine, Minnesota. The boy, Sebastian, seemed to know everything about his great-grandfather's Hyundai Santa Fe. And while Sebastian navigated his candy store run, there were some bumps in the road, including mailboxes, and he also dinged a tree. But there are also some serious lessons for him and his family, including plans to lock up the keys going forward and to keep a closer eye on the youngster. Democratic presidential candidate Amy Klobuchar says she would support impeachment proceedings against President Donald Trump beginning now. The Minnesota senator's comment followed Trump's statement this week that he would take information from a foreign power that offered dirt on an opponent. Klobuchar says it's illegal to take something of value from a foreign country to use in a campaign. She says Trump is sending out signals like he did in 2016 when he publicly urged Russia to find and publish Hillary Clinton's emails. Employers now have another way to help workers with health care. President Trump announced today his administration's expansion of HRAs. They're similar to health spending accounts, but the money comes from the employer and can be used to help pay for the cost of insurance or health expenses. The president says the move could help millions of Americans gain health insurance, especially for those who work for small businesses.
They will be especially useful for small employers. An estimated 90% of the businesses that will take advantage of HRAs have fewer than 20 employees.
President Trump also recognizing top aide Kellyanne Conway for her work on battling the opioid epidemic. The Minnesota DNR is encouraging anglers to toss back large sunfish and only keep the small ones to fry. The DNR says large sunfish play an important role in creating conditions where sunfish can grow to keeper size. So in order for more large sunfish to grow, anglers are being asked to throw the big guys back. Additionally, decades of survey data on anglers' attitudes on sunfish show that they are generally okay with the amount of sunfish they catch on Minnesota lakes, but not so happy with the size of the fish. Today is Flag Day, a holiday to celebrate the official adoption of the Stars and Stripes. On June 14th of 1923, the U.S. flag code was adopted by dozens of veterans and service organizations. In 1942, Congress passed it as public law. When people wonder about how to display, dispose of, or care for their American flag, they often call the American Legion for an explanation of the U.S. flag code. Ultimately, the general rule is that no disrespect should be shown to the flag of the United States of America.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
Well, Hutch has some good news to report to you as we take another look at our time lapse from the Dakota Magic Casino. Storms not very widespread and the risk for severe going down, but a neat feature captured on our time lapse at the Dakota Magic Casino moments ago as we approach the 10 o'clock hour. Thunderstorms, they have that updraft. And here where we see no rain under the storm, warm, humid air rising up into the storm causes a flat thunderstorm base. But in a couple areas, they're lowering. And as we set this into motion, basically we see this very low, ominous cloud working its way across the scene. That's called a wall cloud. That storm wasn't rotating very tightly, but was rotating a little bit. And here's a live look at it, and it's very dark right now, but still that low hanging cloud scooching close to the ground. 72 degrees right now at Hector International, a northeast wind at 8 miles per hour. Plenty of moisture in the atmosphere to work with tonight, but it's going to be overnight before we have a chance of storms here in the metro. Here's a look at temperatures, low 70s all the way from Cavalier down through Wahpeton and Jamestown. Now 69 degrees and 70s in Lakes Country as well. A little cooler up in Badette near Lake of the Woods at 62 degrees. Here is a look at the thunderstorms that we were just talking about approaching the Sisseton area, working their way through Marshall County, parts of South Dakota from Minot through Bismarck. A line of stronger storms, but they have not been trending severe for the most part. Now, as we take you in just a little closer, a lot of lightning with this storm that's approaching Sisseton. It's still quite a ways out. It's moving at about 25 miles per hour to the south and east. So if you are in Veblen by 10:34, the storm should be near you. Expect lightning, heavy rain, and gusty outflow of winds from the storm as we go through the next half hour to 45 minutes. Here's the Minot activity down through Bismarck. These storms also moving at a fairly slow pace. And because they're still over 100 miles away from our viewing area, it's going to be a bit of time. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Setting it into motion, we watch the storms out west approach the Devil's Lake Basin and the James River Valley as we get into the 3 a.m. hour. But the potency of these storms not as robust. They could still be a little on the strong side the farther south we go. Then as we head towards daybreak, we'll see some thunderstorms crossing the central Red River Valley. Again, the risk of severe, very low garden variety thunderstorms here with small hail and some gusty winds. Temperatures to start our day, upper 50s to around 60 degrees. We'll have an easterly flow across the region, and most of the rain will be north of Interstate 94, the way it's looking right now. Then the first half of your Saturday, as we go through, we'll get a break in the Southern Valley from shower and storm activity as everything moves up to the north. And in the afternoon heat, we'll see more developing storms. And in the afternoon will be the best chance of storms. The strong ones will be well to the south. So it does look like we'll leave that risk for severe storms tomorrow afternoon in our far southern counties. The rest of us get a cold, rainy, wet day with passing showers, not all day long, but certainly a soggy start to the weekend with temperatures in the cool 60s. By late in the evening, many of those showers wrapping up. So here in Fargo, we start the day off with a pretty good chance of rain right around daybreak. Then as we head through the midday hours, we hit the mid 60s, and it does look like a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon and into the early evening as well. Some 50s in the afternoon where you see the greens, but 60s likely near 70 down to the far south. A great and peaceful shot here taken by Bruce in Twin Valley. Thanks so much for sharing your stream photo. Here's a look at your Father's Day forecast. The best chance of rain is going to be in the early half of the day, and then it shifts north and east. It'll still be cool. It'll still be cloudy for Dad, but there could be some dry time, maybe in time for grilling a dinner. Quiet Monday and Tuesday, but not so much so Tuesday night through Friday with a chance of rain through that time period.
Yeah, you can always grill under an umbrella. You know, if you're standing at the grill, hold the umbrella. Awning, anything, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You can.
Okay. Oh, no. Later on Valley News.